Hey guys, so this video is going to be installing LED lights on the garage door itself and on the ceiling above the garage door. And it's going to be using a flip-flop circuit off of a relay and a magnetic sensor, so it changes automatically when the lights are on and when you use the garage door. And I'm having to do a voiceover on the first part of this video because I've been sick for about a month and a half. This video was actually recorded in the beginning of October, towards the middle of October, and I'm just now getting my voice back 100%, and I've been sick like 3 times, and that's getting kind of aggravating. But anyway, we'll get ready to look at some of the parts on this. It's going to consist of 2 switches and a split receptacle. As you see here, in the black switch on top will shut all the lights off, and the little toggle switch will be on front of the box, will be a bypass switch to turn all the lights on. And the receptacle will be split into 2 circuits for the light, and this is the power supply, and the wire I'll be using for the control wiring, the magnetic switch, and the relay control board, as you can see here, which will use the normally closed and normally open contacts. I'll be using an extension cord to run power to it off of the other light circuit, so it comes on with the regular light switch. And this is just showing how the extension cord is coming into the junction box and the wiring. Nothing special going on there. And we're wiring up the receptacle, just kind of showing you how the grounds and the neutrals tying into everything. And I cut the tab on the hot side of the receptacle to split it. And I'm just using the wire from the extension cord to wire up the power wiring in it. It's a good, simple, cheap way of having a decent wire to work with. So here's pretty much everything wired. I'm not going into too much detail, but we'll have a schematic here. The toggle switch hooks across the output of the relay, across the normally open and normally closed outputs to pretty much bypass the relay and send power to both circuits. So here's the schematic. It kind of shows everything that's in there. There's nothing real fancy going on, but it's still kind of confusing. This is with a temporary light set up just to kind of demonstrate how it works. So there's the magnetic switch. So when you turn it on, this will simulate the lights on the, like the garage door will say, and the other one will be the lights on the door on the ceiling. So when the garage door opens, it switches to the other set of lights and back and forth. Just a basic flip-flop circuit. And this bypasses the relay and turns everything on. That way if the garage door is closed, I can have the lights on for painting, just any extra light. And if I'm working on the other side of the garage and don't need any lights on the front, I can just turn that off and bypass and shut off all the lights on the front side of the garage. So it's pretty simple, but you know, it's still kind of confusing the way the relay is. And this is the set of lights I bought. It's a 10-pack of 4-foot LED lights that are linkable. And again, nothing special going on. These are higher lumen output. I think they're about 4,000 lumens a piece. And this is a time lapse of just checking the lights to make sure they're all working. And they all checked out good, but you never know. I didn't want to get too far into it and have to have one bad one. And I'm only using 8 lights. There'll be 4 on the door and 4 on the ceiling. This is just showing all the connectors and hardware and stuff. This was actually a time lapse, and I had to slow it down because I hit the wrong button on the camera. And this is the brackets of how they're mounting. I'm mounting it to the metal part of the door. And I did try mounting it to the white part of the door, which is actually just like styrofoam. And it kind of just ripped out. As you can see right there's a hole where I tried to do it and it just ripped out because it's not really made for that. And you got to make sure to put everything in a spot where it's not going to interfere with the door bending. This is showing the lights on before I tucked all the wiring away and actually wired it up. I'm just testing the lights and getting an idea of how much light output it's going to put out. I really like this type of light with that type of plug because it's easy to put the lights pretty much anywhere you need them. And it's a pretty good little setup. So now my voice came back on the rest of the video, so let's get back to the other clips. Alright guys, so my voice finally came back enough where I could talk on here a little bit. Still a little raspy, so just bear with me. Sorry about doing, 80% of the video with the voiceover, but that's the best I could do. I'm just trying to piddle a little bit on this while I was sick. So we got the 4 lights on the door mounted. and the 4 lights on the ceiling. I put a 1-foot cord in between them. That way there'd be less chance of a shadow from the garage door opener. It seemed like it works. I don't really see no shadow there. The only thing I don't like is this wire here running down through here, and this one over here, and that one there, but you know, it is what it is. But main thing is it works. Now, over here, and you can't really see it because of where it's at, but we got the switch mounted right here. And I just got it stuck on with like double stick tape. That's the red and black wire that feeds up to the control box, which is up here. And the way this is set up, there's a regular light switch on the top, and that turns everything off. That turns the ceiling lights and the door lights off. And like I said, the receptacle up here is split. The orange cord is the lights from the door, and the white one is going up to the ceiling. So you can also turn everything on together. If you flip this switch here, it bypasses the relay and the sensor, and you can have everything on. So this is going to be super handy, being able to have these lights on the door if I'm over here painting, because I'm always looking for light, you know. And if I can paint from over here, I'm going to have amazing light. So that's going to be a big help there. Let me get you on the tripod and we'll try to show you all of it working. I'm trying to show you everything I can. The first row of lights from the doors right here, you'll see that they'll come on and the other ones go off just as soon as the door lifts, but there's a delay when they're closing. So now as soon as I start closing the door, you'll see these lights will stay on until it actually closes, and then the lights from the ceiling come on. And if you notice a slight flicker between the two, that's because the sensor goes past it and comes right back up. I could solve that by putting a capacitor across the coil of the relay, and that'll kind of smooth that out and put a little extra delay on it. And with the door open, if you flip the switch, the lights from the ceiling will come on too, which is defeating the purpose of this whole project. But this one row of lights right here is actually kind of exposed by the front, so if I ever needed just a little bit of extra light in the front here, I can turn it on. It'll help out a little bit. Just figured I'd show that in case anybody was curious if it worked that way too. So obviously I had to splice it in because there's nowhere near long enough. I just got the cord mounted to the door. Might eventually change this out to a white or black cord. It just happened to be the only one I had. Pardon the oak wood and the ash wood. And I got it pretty secure to the door. And it's just running up here to a hook up here, and it's zip tied. And it works. It's like in the sweet spot where it don't flex too much. But you do have to be extremely careful to keep from having it get caught on stuff. Highly recommended. And I might do it myself at some point if there's ever any issue with this at all. Is a retractable extension cord reel, or like a drop light reel, and do away with the latching mechanism in it and have it mounted so all the cord's hidden like up here. So we might do that eventually, but for right now this was a quick and easy way of getting it working, and it actually works. So we're leaving it alone for the moment. But if if we ever do that, we'll put in another video. If you look at 65 Ford, he's a guy that makes a lot of videos on YouTube. He did this about a month or two ago. I'm recording this right now towards the end of October, and he used a retractable reel. That's what gave me the idea for that. And I was planning on it for this, and I might end up doing it, but like I said, for right now, this is working just fine. So let's look at the cord and how it does. So you can see this is with all the lights off right now, and Still got a decent amount of light shining from all the other lights from this way. But now when we turn on the ceiling lights, like, probably not as much of a difference on the camera, but it's a huge difference in person. And if you turn on the door lights, you know, it's even more light. So definitely got plenty of light in this end of the garage now. This is handy, as you can see. You know, sometimes I'll pull a vehicle in right here and just change the oil instead of pulling it all the way in if I got stuff in the floor. So now I got plenty of light for, you know, working on the vehicles and stuff now too. Well, guys, got any questions, comments, suggestions, or anything else, or any ideas for similar videos? Feel free to leave a comment below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And if you got an idea I like or something, we might try to do it. And yeah, just go from there. So again, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll catch you on the next one.